I don't forget. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the coffee chat, supported by Tech Prep and state support teams. And here's my slide to remember to do that. If you wouldn't mind signing in for me, you can just do your QR code on your phone. It's just your name and all that good stuff. And then I can put the link to the form too in the chat if that would be easier than the QR code. And I'll just tell you, I might be a little slow this morning. I'm in Akron to do some school visits for job training coordination programs with the school district. And I forgot my mouse. So I'm trying to maneuver with just the little touchpad this morning. Okay. So a few asks, just to remember to be to assume positive intent and be present. We're going to talk about AI, so it's lots of cool stuff. So it should be pretty fun. You guys all know this. I know everyone on the call, so I don't worry that you're not going to be a good friend today. So just a reminder of the team supporting you. We have Rita, Pam, Carrie, and myself. And everybody can wave if they want or say hello real quick. And then we also have, in our West region, we have coordinators Deb and Rosie, and I know they're both on the call. I see their shining faces. And then in Southwest, we have Terry, Barbie, and Erica. And Erica is relatively new to Tech Prep, and so is Barbie, but we're welcoming all of you. And I see Gretchen as well. She helps support Tech Prep at Cincinnati State. So purpose of the coffee chats, just to give you some hot topics and just-in-time training, things that are happening, and then to help build a professional learning network for yourself. So you have some people to go to if you have a question. So today we're going to talk about artificial intelligence in education. And I want to tell you, I had a presenter for this, and unfortunately he wasn't able to make it. So I am going to do the presentation. I've played around with AI, and if you haven't, you're going to have some fun today. So we will go ahead and just kind of go through some things I have for you. Just out of show of hands, use your emoji reactions. How many of you have played with AI? Just a couple. Okay. So it can be really fun. There's lots of things that can do. And I know there's some things out there that, society, we have to figure out in general that we're going to use AI for good. So these are all things that I'm going to show you today that can be used for good. And specifically, I think they can help teachers. Teachers have lots on their plate. And my heart has a place for brand new teachers, especially in career tech, when they're learning how to teach, and then they want to get these engaging materials for their students. And they have a 2-hour lab. And so it's just a planning, it's overwhelming for them. So some of these things, I think if we teach them how to use them for good and to help remind them that they still have to proofread and change, check for content, they can get people started on activities. So I'm going to just skip that slide. That was just for me to remember to open up all these links this morning. So just a reminder, and this is from Magic School AI, which I'll show you. And a colleague of mine at the ESC did a presentation on this. So this is actually her slide, but just to always check for bias and accuracy. And they give you warnings when you go in to use AI that it may not be 100% accurate. And some of the AI tools that they're pulling from the cloud may not be the most up to date. They might have like 1-year-old information or 2-year-old information. So you do always have to double check that what you want to share is really what's presented. Use AI for initial work, but make sure you add your own piece to make sure you contextualize for your situation. And, that 80-20 approach is a good way to think about it. Your judgment matters. It's just a starting point. Always adhere to your school's guidelines. Know the limit. This is what I was saying about accuracy. Chat GP right now, its knowledge stops at 2021. So don't always take what's in Chat GPT as the best and most accurate information. And then protect privacy. Don't include personal student details like names or address when you're using it. So we're going to go over some free tools to use in education, and then I'm going to challenge you guys to try something out and tell someone else about it. So Bard is AI that Google built, and I'm going to read this. I know you don't normally read slides to professionals, but I think this is really important. It's important to note that AI is not a replacement tool for teachers. Instead, it should be seen as a tool that can be used to augment and enhance the teaching and learning process. When used effectively, AI has the potential to revolutionize education and make it more personalized, engaging, and effective for all students. And I think that's important for all of us to remember. We hear that a lot when we go to conferences about how AI is changing the workforce and will change the workforce, but to produce employees that know how to use AI in the context of their job is going to make them a really good candidate for anything coming in the future. So for today, I did make an idea boards for you. Let me put this link in the chat for you. And then if you have questions or ideas as we go through, feel free to put them there. And for those of you that joined in a little late, forgive me if I'm a little slow. I'm on an laptop and I forgot my portable mouse today, so I'm just using that touchpad. Okay, so idea boards, just ideas you might have for using AI in the classroom, any questions you have. And if I don't have the answer, I will track it down for you. And then what are you going to try within a week or two? To use idea boards, all you do is click on the little plus, a little box pops up and you're able to type in it. And then once you type in it, let's just put a little gibberish in there to get you started. But people can like your comment and like agree with it. And so there'll be a little heart or something there. Trash that one. Okay. So let's go ahead and get going. So prompt examples, what I've learned so far is when you ask AI to do something, it's a lot about how you ask them. Just like it was when we first started using Google, right? How to refine your search. So here are some examples that you can use, and a lot of them, the AI tools have prompts to like guide you. So you can use these. We'll have this PowerPoint for you. You can use these and just copy and paste them and then fill in your blanks, especially when you're playing around to see what it will do for you. So the first place we're going to visit is AI for Education Prompt Library. And this one is full of different things that for education. I just don't, they name themselves very well. So in administrative, and over here, there's always a view all. You can generate interview questions. You can do professional development ideas. You can help plan a professional development workshop. You can help write reference letters. This time of year is always coming up where students want reference letters or letters of support for school, um, or scholarships. There's some things there. In assessment, authentic assessments, Bloom's taxonomy, rubrics, quizzes. Let's take a look at what else is there. AI assisted assessments, exit tickets, formative assessments, student exemplars, performance tasks, oral exam ideas, in-class writing, classroom observations, and I think there's more still. Communication, making Google or PowerPoint slides, responding to emails. That could be a good one if you get an email that's not so nice and your practice is to real quick type back and then delete it because you need to get your frustration out. But maybe this email response could help you type a very polite response. Newsletters, reference letters again. Then for students, ELL instructions translator, a language learning practice partner, Thanksgiving activities, research project ideas, explain it to me like. So if you're not understanding something as a student and you want to hear it a different way, or maybe you want to say in college, explain it to me like I'm 10, you can have that choice to help you. Studying help, flashcards, college essay ideas, help me understand, summarize a text. So all kinds of things. Time travel, I might have to check that one out. Lesson planning, gamification of a lesson plan or activity. Bloom's again, a syllabus designer, unit or lesson objectives. I'm thinking of the syllabus designer, if any of you teach at the university, just one or two classes at a time, that would be really helpful. Lesson idea generator, lesson plans, PBL lesson plans, and then PD, SEL, I'll just keep going. Special needs, self-regulation strategies, behavior intervention strategies, accommodations, script for IEP evaluations, worksheets for ESL or ELL, helping writing your IEP goals, because they can't all be the same. They have to be very individualized. So that could help, especially when we get in that rut of writing a goal and 3 students have a very similar goal, but we don't want them to have the same. So this one is just a resource to help you write some of those questions and what you want to have AI help you with. The next one is going to be Claude. So I think Claude's pretty cool. Yesterday I was playing around with it, or the day before, and I had it summarize the career advising toolkit from the Department of Education. And I just loaded it up, and then this is what it gave me within, like, I don't know, 2 seconds, something like that. So I will show you how to do that. Is that can you read that, or is it too small? It's okay. Okay. So let's go back and we'll ask Claude to summarize a new PDF. Oops. And I'm going to attach one that I found. Sorry that you have to see my messy. Where'd it go? I just found this business one. Well, we'll just find a different one since I can't find the one I downloaded for this. I apologize. Maybe it's this. Maybe I forgot to name it. Yeah, I found the right article. So social media and business research PDF summary. I thought it's pretty cool. And I was thinking of the ways this could be used in school, right? Maybe we have a long article we want students to read, um, and we want to make sure they get some main points. So, do we use this to make some guided notes or to help them make sure there are going to be 5 things we really want them to find in this article to help guide them a little bit? Um, and just so you can see, let me show you how big that article was. So here's the actual article. So not super long, but you can tell just by looking at it, it's more of a educational article for research. So students might struggle, with the way it's laid out, with different vocabulary, that kind of stuff. So um, thinking of how we could use AI, that might be an example. I think it's also helpful for us. There are tons of educational articles out there all the time that can give us tips and tricks and things that we could be using to help support our teachers or our students. And we don't have time to read it all anymore. So this could be a way to help us get to the nitty gritty of something and even decide if we want to go back and read the whole thing. So Claude, there's some other things Claude will do too. That's just one thing that I picked out that I thought you all might be interested in. Any questions so far? Am I going too fast?
I have a question.
Yep.
How do you know which AI tool to use?
Yeah, that's a challenge because there's so many.
There are.
Um, I have a few that I like the most. I'll tell you about them at the end just because I think they can do a lot of things in one tool, especially, for a school or teacher planning.
And Melissa, is there I know some of these cost, there's a cost to them. What have you found in your research, as far as cost or free or that sort of thing?
Yeah. All of the ones I'm going to show you today are free, at least to get started. Magic School, and I think Magic School, I think will charge after a little bit. And then there's another one that it's always free for teachers. So depending on how you sign up for your account, like I put educator in mine, but then it says it'll always be free for teachers. So I'm like, I should have just said I was a teacher. So, but you guys can look at these and see what one you want to play with and then decide for yourself if that's something you want to try. If you're in a school and you want to try it, definitely work with your technology department to see what ones they're going to use. Where I work, they haven't blocked any, and they've encouraged us to give it a try. So that's why I'm just going to share all of these things with you. I'm definitely not an expert in it yet. I don't think I will be because there's just so much. Okay, let me go back to this. So in Chat GPT, you can ask it to write a lesson. And this is one where I played around with it as oh, I forget what type of teacher I did. But we'll see my previous ask. And then this is the ask we're going to put in for Chat GPT this morning. So let me grab all of this. Whoops. Sorry. Oh no. Of course. Sorry. That always happens, right? When you're in the middle of doing something. So in GPT, it does show you some of the things you've asked before. That was what I did yesterday. I did teaching knife skills for culinary classroom. So this time we're going to use the nurse. And I'm just putting in there, you're an expert nurse teaching high school students. I want an engaging lesson for 11th grade, put a time, told them to cover vocabulary, some personal protective equipment, safety. And so we'll go from there. And so I'll send Chat GPT the message, and then here it goes. I'm like, where was this when I started teaching, right? To at least help me get a framework. To not, do it all for me, but to get a framework for sure. So this, I put that in it and it started right away. So we have the objective. We'll be able to demonstrate the correct use of personal protective equipment, identify key first aid vocabulary, and apply basic first aid principles to common scenarios. They have materials listed. They have an introduction. Ask students if they have any prior knowledge or experiences with first aid, and share a short personal story to make the topic relatable. Introduce the objective, the lesson objective, and the relevance of PPE. They've got key vocabulary there. Shock, fracture, hemorrhage, CPR, first aid. PPE, then an activity. Divide them in small groups, provide each with the first aid scenario. Identify potential hazards in the scenario, decide appropriate PPE to use, and how they would take to provide first aid. So you can see that this gives you lots of things to get started. It doesn't, again, replace the teacher. You're still going to make sure the content is appropriate for your course. And I'm not a nurse, so this is my attempt to find something about how to teach a lesson on first aid. If I was a nurse, I would know if that content makes sense to me. On knife skills, the one I did the other day for culinary, same similar thing. They have an objective. They have a first aid kit for your materials because you're going to teach kids knife skills, right? The key vocabulary here, julienne, chop, dice, mince, a knuckle guard, pivot point, a tang, the tang on the knife, the bolster and the honing, and then talks about importance of knife skills. The teacher demonstrates, the kids get hands-on practice, safety tips, And then 3 ways to do some assessment of their learning. So again, lots of activities built in. But like I said earlier, it's all about how you write that prompt. So you can keep refining your prompt as well to ask ChatGPT to do something differently. And remember, this one is the one that only goes back to 2021. So 2 years worth of information they're not up to date on. But like knife skills, I feel pretty confident that nothing has really changed in how to use a knife in the past 2 years. So like that one, I wouldn't be worried about. The Russian-Ukraine war, I would be worried about that because 2 years, a lot of stuff has been happening. Okay, let me go back to this. And we'll just stay on this, and I won't have to mess with it. So Magic School is the next one. And Magic School is one of those items that has a lot of things for teachers. It has rubric generators. It has, oops, sorry. It has all kinds of things. Some things I really like. You can make video questions from a YouTube. So maybe you need to give a sub plan, right? You're going to make some emergency sub plans. And here's an example of you could have students watch some YouTube videos about your course, the content, and it can generate some questions for you. An IEP generator. This one you've got to make sure though, anytime you're doing an IEP related thing that would match or correlate to the documents in Ohio. A text translator, take any text and translate to any language instantly. I really like that one. In Cincinnati Public, where we work, there are like 17 at least languages spoken and 5 big languages that a lot of their students speak: French, Arabic, English, Spanish, Nepali. So lots of things, and finding materials, especially for career tech in another language other than Spanish, is really difficult. So being able to take some information from maybe a welding book or text and copy it and put it into this so your students can read it in their own language, that would be very helpful for them. Depth of knowledge questions, I think, is another good one. So, we're always working on skills with teachers to go deeper in their learning instead of just always asking those easy questions that are very surface level. So, this can help teachers get going on that. A choice board for UDL, so you can make assessment choices for your students or activities that they're going to do. A standards unpacker. So again, for our new teachers, that they see those career tech standards and they're like, what does that mean? What do I have to do with that? That's a good one for them to try out, or for you to try out before you introduce it to them to see if it's something you like. Decodable text, that's really helpful in the science of reading and getting started. Even if you have a struggling reader at the upper grades, finding some ways to help them improve their reading skills.
Hey, Melissa.
Yeah.
Hey, I just have a question, and this came up. We purchased Magic School Enterprise for our teachers here at the Oaks. And, when we were sharing it, our training, we talked about the IEP generator and that information. And part of me takes a pause because has there been any, I assume eventually it's going to get there, legal guidance about using AI to generate pieces of an IEP, or hopefully not the entire IEP. Is that something, I truly understand the 80-20, but I also understand life takes over for teachers and all of a sudden you're in a hurry. I didn't do the IEP. I throw it into AI, I create it. I just wonder if if you've heard any rumblings about guidance, do you have to let people know that AI partially created this? Because I'm sitting from a parent's standpoint saying, AI created my kid's IEP, right? I mean, I don't know. It's just a weird world for me right now to think about that.
Yes, absolutely. It's so new that I haven't heard anything about IEPs, it being used with IEPs. I have always been taught in every presentation I've heard is you should always say AI helped to generate something.
Mhm.
And so that could be, something for teachers to consider. And I think it's just so new that we're going to have to just tiptoe for a while.
I agree. And if you just can keep your ear out on anything like that especially from a special ed particularly, but anything in that piece, because you see on the news Chat GPT is being sued for some things, and and you're just like, it behooves us to go a little bit slow on this versus
Yeah.
but that could be my age as well. So I don't know.
No, I think we do need to go slow on it.
Yeah.
And I like the I like the AI tools for that, the prep materials for like teaching the lesson.
Yeah. I
Um,
agree.
I feel like that can free up the time, then the teacher can write the IEP. If you're using AI to help generate your teaching materials, then you have some free time to actually sit down and do the real, like the most important work that you should be doing and using your expertise. So that's kind of my take right now, but I will definitely ask about it, and I will keep my ear open. And I have a feeling that the department will come out with one of those tech tips kind of guidance sheets soon about this. So I think that prefacing too, we want to use AI for good, that it's a tool to help enhance your classroom and lessons, but it's not a substitute for you and your knowledge. Um, let's see, what was the other thing on here? Oh, if you have students taking those big tests, SAT, there's some things on there as well for that. So this is one that it starts out free, and then there'll always be a free version, but Magic School Plus is where a bunch of the things are. So my plus ends in 14 days. Let's see. To upgrade it, it says we always have a free powerful version for teachers. And then if you want an individual one, it's $100 a year, it looks like. Or if you get it like Great Oaks did for teachers, the district can purchase it. So again, that's something to always, do your research on and talk with your tech department or your curriculum department to see if it's going to be useful. And then always, always, always have the training involved when using something like this to make sure people know how to use it and get the most out of your purchase, but also, again, to use it for good. This one I haven't played around with that much, I'll be honest, but when you get the slide deck, you'll have this one if you want to see it. Eduaid AI. And it's got a lot of the things that the Magic School one has as well. So feel free to take a look at this one. Like I said, I haven't played that much with this one, so I just wanted you to know it was out there. CuriePod, I have played with. I really like CuriePod. So this one can help teachers create slide decks. That's the most I've used it for so far. And again, we're going to try it with some manufacturing standards. So what I did is I looked at the metallurgy course, and I looked in, found the standards for that on the department's website. And it's in manufacturing operations. Then I looked at the WebXam test blueprint, and it's in the Power Technologies, has 12.12% on the exam. So I thought, let's look at that, because clearly that's a very highly tested topic. So and then I grabbed the first 5 standards, there's more for power technologies, and entered them into CuriePod. So again, up here, you can do all kinds of things with it. But on my lessons, here's my full lesson for this. So, mastering fluid mechanics. And again, over here, it does say illustration made by AI. Then it's a lesson draft. And it reminds the teachers to use it as a great starting point. Check for factual mistakes and edit. And remember to delete that slide, it says. Standards covered. So the standards I put in, now they're dragging these from, I think, national standards. I'm trying to remember the name of those, sorry. And then it talks about different topics, kind of vocab, force pressure, fluid pressure. And again, if I was teaching this course, I would know if these are accurate. Then an activity, what is the relationship between force, pressure, and area in the fluid mechanics? How does it relate to hydraulic and pneumatic? Again, understanding more of these. Then here's an activity where you do some math, calculate the fluid pressure. And it even gives instructions for students. Sit together in pairs, use one device, use text or drawing and visuals to show your thinking. And then discuss the relationship. Which of the way is not a way to improve the efficiency of a system. So again, a good starter for teachers, and it did it in CuriePod takes a little bit longer, but I would say 2 minutes, I think, is what it took. I mean, it wasn't as instantaneous as ChatGPT, but it was still right there. Let's see, in welding a while ago, I just did like a PowerPoint to get started on what's the most common type of welding. It tells you what welding is. You know, a little bit of info about, did you know welding could do this? What's the most important safety precaution? Welding techniques and disadvantages. So again, lots of ways to get this going. And again, I thought more about our newest teachers and how they struggle to create materials. So the goal of firefighting, you know, what that position is. And once you get started, like I said, it saves all your stuff and it's over here in my lessons. And I am using the free version that all of that is created. So I'm pretty impressed with CuriePod. I would use that. I think I would use CuriePod and probably Magic School to get started on things. Let's see, check my time here. You can go down a rabbit hole with AI pretty quick. Diffit, I have not played with this one either, but my colleagues say that it's nice because you can get leveled resources. So get just right resources for your students what they need. So you can search for topic or choose your reading level here. It goes up to 11th grade, and you can also do some languages. So again, if you're needing something in a different language, um, this one could be helpful. But again, I haven't played with this one, so this might be one you want to take a look at. I want to show you Eric, this Cool Tools by Eric Kurtz. He's a educational technologist. I think he's in the Cleveland area. And he does amazing things. He does a newsletter every week that tells you new stuff he's working on. But he did Cool Tools in AI for the whole month of December. And so if you click on each one of these, it takes you to a new tool, and gives you materials and his demonstration of that tool. So this is linked in this PowerPoint. So once we're done, I'll send it out to you. And it'll also be in our Padlet. Where'd it go? Oh, I just went to his newsletter. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I clicked on the blog post instead of advancing it. So, so these have all been researched, by the educational technologist. He's pretty well known nationally. He speaks at lots of conferences, but he works for an ESC up here in Northern Ohio. So again, it'll be in the slide deck, but when you just click on a number, it'll take you to a different AI tool. I just thought it was a really good thing to share with you. Then a couple that could be used for teachers and students, I wanted to show you. This is a really good one. So Goblin Tools is what it says. It's a collection of small, simple, single task tools designed to help neurodivergent people with tasks they find overwhelming or difficult. I really like the breaking things down piece. So when you go to Magic Tools or Goblin Tools, let's see, to break down things. I'm trying to think what's something I want them to break them down. I don't know. We'll see what it says on Bake a Cake. So I don't have the recipe for Bake a Cake, but yet it broke down really quickly some things I would need to do. So for our students that get easily overwhelmed, like maybe with a research paper or a project they're working on, or even something at home, you could show parents this and help them break down things that they need to be doing at home. And just those little snippets are going to help make things easier and help them manage it. They also have up here different ones. They have a formalizer. So turn the spicy thoughts into classy ones or vice versa. So sometimes our neurodivergent friends have that quick comeback. Think of Sheldon and the Big Bang Theory. And if we could temper Sheldon's words a little bit, that could help him. So that might be an option there. And make my text more professional, more polite, less snarky, more sociable, less emotional, more sarcastic, grammatically correct. So it can help you do all of that. So I see Susan smiling, I think. Then Judge.
I need that just in Outlook. It just run all the time.
Judge, am I misreading the tone of this? So before I react, can I check to see what the tone of something is? Estimator, how long is this probably going to take me? Compiler, brain dump, and it can make it generate a list of tasks for you. I need that in the middle of the night, right? When you wake up thinking of things. And then chef, what am I having for lunch? So you can go in your cupboard, see what you've got. Write down your dietary restraints, and it's going to tell you what you can make. So I really liked this one. I thought this one would be a nice one to share with kids and families. And I don't think you have to be neurodivergent to use it. I mean, breaking down a task, we all kind of get overwhelmed at things sometimes. So that could be really, really helpful. And then Study Fetch is another one. Study Fetch, I think, is free for a little bit, and then you have to pay for it. So, but this one, you can make materials, you can make notes, flashcards, you can have a tutor, something to summarize, a live lecture. So if you record a lecture like at the university level, it can transcribe it for you and put things into a usable format for you. Practice tests and games, in-depth notes, of course. Oh, I have to click on something, sorry. So if I want to make flashcards, Fetch here will, it gives you always a way to, a tutorial here. You can upload a lecture, you can get a study guide, a live lecture. So again, this is one teachers and students could be using. So check that one out to see. All right. Okay, friends, we've got 10 minutes left, and I know I just went over so many of these tools for you. So what I want you to do on the idea boards, and if you've got that, it's still in the chat there, go ahead and you can add things in here, but on this, what are you going to try within a week? Let's make it by President's Day, because I know it gets busy. But go ahead and put your plus sign there, say something you want to try. If you want me to follow up with you to see if you tried it for some accountability, just put your name in there and I will. Because I know we all get busy, but if you're really into it and you want to try it, just put your name down and I'll send you a reminder or check in with you after President's Day to see how it went. But there's so many cool tools here. And again, thinking how we can use them and help our teachers and students use them as well. I think that would be super great. I feel like a teenager today with my vocabulary. Sorry about that. So go ahead and keep going on the idea boards and then we'll do our quick updates. So in Region 13, we're still working on our career planning for graduation and beyond virtual series. Most of you on the call have signed up for that. If you haven't, just let me know. And I'm happy to get you the info. The next live session is February 21st. We're looking at industry recognized credentials that in career fields we didn't look at before, like hospitality, human services, technology. Susan, we do have the State Board of Cosmetology coming to talk about those newer credentials within that. So we're really excited about that. Then on February 22nd, Chelsea Canterbury will do her last session on CTE in middle grades as a career advising strategy. On February 15th, if you're in Region 13, we're going to partner with Embold to do some credentialing. It is it's just a new vendor for leadership excellence, yellow belt, green belt. They also do some IT things, but we're going to focus our transition dollars on those yellow belt, green belt, and leadership excellence. They offer those credentials 3 ways: student led by themselves, individual if needed, blended, and then you can also do a course. So we're going to do an overview of those, and then we're going to give away our seats that we have for that. We're going to ask how many seats a school wants, and then we'll divvy up what we've got for our budget. And then February 28th, we have our statewide CTE leaders and special ed session. Does somebody have a question? Okay. So those are all I have right now. And then I'm going to turn it over to Rita.
Hi, good morning. We just have two real quick things. Southwest Tech Prep Engineering IT Success Bound is actually this Friday, so it's consuming us a little bit. We have the biggest turnout we've ever had. I think we have over 270 students registered. And again, it's here at Cincinnati State. Everything's been closed as far as registration, but if it's an opportunity that you think you might be interested to attend and just check out, you're more than welcome to do that. And then just reach out to me for more information. And then again, this is something that we've done on a yearly basis. So we're happy to say we're able to use the gymnasium at Cincinnati State this year. So we've been able to expand that. And then as far as CTE 26s, this is the CTE 26 season, as we all know, in career tech education. We did an in-person workshop. We've done a virtual workshop, and we have all of our resources. They can be found on the Southwest Tech Prep website, and that's the link to it. So, or you can go to Tech Prep Southwest or Tech Prep SW Ohio. You can just kind of put that in search and it'll automatically pop up as well. But I just wanted to give you that resource if you haven't already checked it out. That's all I have. So I think Pam, are you next?
Yes.
Well, I'd like to say hi to everybody, and thanks for tuning in today. I also wanted to really give Melissa a shout out, because apparently last minute, even Rita and I didn't even know that the speaker had canceled on us today. So a little shout out to Melissa for at least keeping us entertained with these new AI tools. I definitely were trying a few of them out as we were talking today and as you were going through them. So I appreciate you taking the lead on that, Melissa. As far as the West region is concerned, we did have our in-person workshop in January. We are now having our CTE 26 virtual workshop or information session on February 13th. Although it's in the West region, all of you are more than welcome to listen and learn, as Rita and I and Melissa and Carrie all work very well together collaboratively. And then in March is our annual Success Bound 2024 conference. This year's conference is going to be focused on promising practices. So it will be a day of breakout sessions from practitioners and from the State Department of Education. We will be looking at a variety of things of work-based learning, industry recognized credentials, and career service activities. So if you haven't gotten my email regarding that conference, let me know. I'll send it to you, but the link is also there in our PowerPoint today. I did put the links at the bottom if you want to put those in the chat for me, Melissa. That way anyone can go ahead and use those links to register and attend those events. So on behalf of the West region, I thank you all for being here. And Melissa, thank you very much. And the collaboration we have with the SSTs and the Southwest region.
Yes. So let me grab these for you. There you go. And then just as a reminder, if you wouldn't mind giving us some feedback, we, with all the changes at the Department of Education, everything is being looked at more closely than usual. And we feel like we're doing a good service for all of you out there. But if we could have some feedback, so when they ask us to share that, we would have some, that would be great. I did put the link in the chat. There's also on the QR code, and then you will get a certificate for your LPDC or IPDIP if you once you complete that. And then later today or tomorrow, all of these resources will be in the Padlet. Let's see, let me put that in the chat too for you. But here's the link to the Padlet where we have all of our items, from our coffee chats this year. So we've only had one so far, but the ones from January will be listed here. And then we'll have another one coming up in April. So this is always out there for you if you bookmark it, or if you're in Padlet, you can go over and put a little star, I think, by it to say you're following it. And then it'll just show up in your kind of like your menu when you log into Padlet. So if anybody has any questions, we're happy to hang around for a few minutes and talk more. But thank you for coming today. We really appreciate it. And we know we'll be seeing you all very soon.
Thanks, Melissa. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks,
welcome.
Melissa. Good job.
Welcome.
It's great.
Thanks. Hey, Rita, is that big event happening? I'm trying to remember who does it over in Northern Kentucky this year.
JA Inspire.
Today Inspire. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's happening in March.
All right.
I'm not familiar with what you're talking about. What is that? Got out of the way. Hang on, I'll turn my video on so you can see who you are talking to. Okay.
The
JA
Inspire.
Inspire is an event that Junior Achievement puts on, and they have different booths from different companies and businesses. It's at Northern Kentucky Convention Center. I was there last year as well, but there's over like 4,000 students that walk through. I think on the first day is it's 2 days. The first day is freshman, sophomore, and then the second day is junior, seniors. And I don't have the date right off in my mind.
I put a link in the chat, Rita, to the news bulletin I put it on our website.
Perfect.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's great.
So it's a great event. Cincinnati State is an educational sponsor, and I know there's other colleges that have booths there, but it has all, different sectors, and it's divided into different sectors. So healthcare, we've got
I'll share it
engineering,
with our
IT, and
team. That's
academics.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Glad you brought that up, Melissa.
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
We can definitely share it out more. So
Yeah, very good. Yes, I will. I'll share it to some of our local peeps around here too that we work with.
okay. All right. Well, you guys have a great rest of the day.
Too. Thank you.
You're welcome.